If you're over 60, I need you to pay close attention for the next 12 minutes, because I'm about to walk you through 7 habits that feel completely harmless, but are quietly aging your heart, your brain, and your independence faster than you realize. I'm not talking about smoking or fast food. I'm talking about small things you probably do every single day without a second thought. What you reach for first thing in the morning. How long you sit before getting up. What you do right before bed. Whether you write down how a new medication makes you feel. In over 2 decades of practice, I've watched these 7 habits show up again and again in patients who came to me confused about why they suddenly felt worse, weaker, or foggier than they expected to at their age. The frustrating part is that almost none of them knew these habits were the cause, because each one, on its own, seems too small to matter. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what these 7 habits are, why each one matters more after 60 than it did in your 40s, and exactly how to fix each one starting today. Let's start with the one almost nobody talks about: sitting for more than 30 minutes without moving. Here's what most people don't know: sitting for extended periods is an independent risk factor for cardiovascular disease. That means even if you exercise regularly, even if you walk every morning, long stretches of sitting still raise your risk on their own. Your morning walk doesn't cancel out an afternoon spent in a recliner. When you sit for long periods, blood flow slows in your legs, your muscles stop actively helping circulate blood back to your heart, and your body's ability to regulate blood sugar drops. For someone over 60, this adds up faster because your baseline circulation is already naturally slower than it was decades ago. I had a patient, a retired teacher, active, walked every morning without fail, who couldn't understand why her blood pressure kept creeping up. It wasn't her walk. It was the 6 hours a day she spent reading in her favorite chair afterward, barely moving. This is the myth I want to correct. I exercise, so sitting doesn't matter. Research consistently shows it does. Movement needs to be spread throughout your day, not front-loaded into one session. The fix is simple, and it doesn't require a gym membership. Every 30 minutes, stand up. Walk to the kitchen. March in place for 2 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. I recommend this to my patients constantly, and it's one of the easiest wins on this entire list. Habit 2. Reaching for coffee before water in the morning. After 6-8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up mildly dehydrated. This is normal at any age, but after 60, your body's natural thirst signal weakens, meaning you don't feel as thirsty even when you need water just as badly, sometimes more. This is one of the most under-discussed changes that comes with aging. Now add coffee to that. Coffee is a mild diuretic, meaning it makes you lose more fluid through urination. So if the very first thing you do each morning is reach for coffee instead of water, you're compounding a dehydration problem that's already working against you before you've even started your day. Why does this matter so much? Dehydration thickens your blood slightly, which can spike your morning blood pressure, right at the time of day when heart attacks and strokes are statistically most common. Mild dehydration is also one of the most common, and most overlooked, causes of morning dizziness and brain fog in older adults, symptoms people often mistake for something more serious. I'm not telling you to give up coffee. I still enjoy mine every morning. The fix is simply the order. Drink 1 full glass of water before your coffee. Keep a glass by your bed if you need the reminder. It takes 30 seconds, and it changes how your entire cardiovascular system starts the day. Habit 3. Eating too fast. This one seems harmless, but here's the mechanism. When you eat quickly, your body doesn't have time to release the hormones that signal fullness. These take about 20 minutes to kick in. Eating fast means you're likely consuming more food than you need before your brain even catches up, night after night, meal after meal. But there's a second, less obvious problem. Eating quickly causes faster, sharper spikes in blood sugar. When food hits your system quickly, your blood sugar rises quickly too, and over time, repeated glucose spikes damage the lining of your blood vessels. This is one of the underlying mechanisms behind both heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and it happens gradually, silently, over years. For someone over 60, whose blood vessels are already naturally less flexible than they were decades ago, these repeated spikes matter more than they did when you were younger. This is part of why the same plate of food can affect you differently now than it did in your 30s. The fix: put your fork down between bites. Aim for at least 20 minutes per meal. This alone can meaningfully flatten your blood sugar response. No dietary changes required, just pacing. Habit 4: skipping protein at breakfast. This is one I see constantly in my practice. Many people over 60 default to a light breakfast: toast, cereal, maybe fruit. It feels healthy, feels light, feels like the responsible choice. But it's often missing the one nutrient your body needs most at this stage of life: protein. After 60, your body becomes less efficient at using protein to build and maintain muscle, a phenomenon researchers call anabolic resistance. This means you actually need more protein per meal than you did in your 40s, not less, just to maintain the muscle you already have. Skipping protein at breakfast, the meal that breaks your longest fasting window of the day, after 7–8 hours without eating, accelerates the natural muscle loss that happens with age. And muscle loss isn't just about strength or appearance. It's directly tied to your ability to get up from a chair without using your arms, climb a flight of stairs, carry your own groceries, and live independently as you age. I've watched patients regain noticeable strength within a few months simply by restructuring their breakfast, nothing extreme, just enough protein, consistently. The fix: aim for 25–30 grams of protein at breakfast. Eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein shake if you're short on time. This one change compounds significantly over months and years, protecting the independence you may not even realize is at stake. Habit 5: going straight from the television to bed. Here's what happens physiologically. Screens, especially TV and phones, emit blue light that suppresses melatonin, the hormone your body needs to fall into deep sleep. Going straight from an engaging show to lying down doesn't give your brain time to transition into a sleep-ready state, no matter how tired you feel. Why does this matter more after 60? Deep sleep is when your brain performs its most important repair work, clearing out metabolic waste, including proteins linked to cognitive decline. It's also when your heart rate and blood pressure drop to their lowest point, giving your cardiovascular system genuine rest it doesn't get during lighter sleep stages. Fragmented, shallow sleep means your brain and heart don't get that full recovery window, even if you're technically in bed for 8 hours. This is why some patients tell me they sleep enough, but still wake up exhausted. The quantity is there, but the quality isn't. The fix: build in a 30-minute wind down before bed with no screens. Reading, light stretching, or simply sitting quietly works. Your sleep quality, not just quantity, depends on this transition, and it's one of the simplest changes with the biggest payoff. Habit 6: taking medications without tracking how it feels. This is one of the most overlooked risks in my patients over 60. Many are managing multiple prescriptions, and side effects, fatigue, dizziness, mood changes, appetite shifts, often develop slowly, over months, not days. Because they're gradual, patients frequently attribute them to just getting older, instead of connecting them to a medication that's been part of their routine for a while. This matters because by the time a side effect is noticed and reported, it may have already been quietly affecting quality of life for months or years, or in some cases, masking a more serious underlying problem that gets missed because everyone assumes it's simply age. I had a patient who spent nearly a year believing her constant tiredness was just part of getting older. It turned out to be a side effect of a medication she'd been on for years. One conversation, one adjustment, and her energy came back within weeks. The fix: keep a simple weekly log: energy, mood, appetite, sleep. Bring it to every appointment. This single habit helps your doctor catch problems early instead of guessing after the fact, and it puts you back in control of your own care. And habit 7, the one I consider the most dangerous on this entire list: dismissing what your body is trying to tell you. This shows up in small ways. Chalking up new fatigue to just getting older, ignoring mild chest discomfort because it's not severe, assuming forgetfulness is normal without ever getting it checked, waving off swelling, breathlessness, or unusual pain because it's probably nothing. Here's the truth: many serious conditions in adults over 60, heart disease, kidney decline, early cognitive changes, don't announce themselves loudly. They start as small, easy-to-dismiss signals. The patients who catch problems early are almost always the ones who took a small symptom seriously enough to get it checked, rather than assuming it was just age. This doesn't mean living in fear of every ache. It means trusting that your body communicates real information, and giving it the attention it deserves, before it becomes something bigger. So let's recap the 7 habits. Prolonged sitting, coffee before water, eating too fast, skipping protein at breakfast, going straight from TV to bed, not tracking medication side effects, and dismissing what your body tells you. None of these require perfection. They require awareness, and small, consistent adjustments starting today. If even one of these habits sounded familiar, you're not alone. I see this in my practice every single week. That's exactly why I make these videos, to catch small problems before they become big ones. If this helped you, hit subscribe right now. I release a new video like this every week, covering exactly the kind of things doctors wish more people knew before it's too late. And if you want a simple, done-for-you nutrition guide built specifically for adults over 60, I put together an ebook covering exactly what to eat to support your heart, your brain, and your muscles as you age. Link is in the description below. Comment AWARE below if you're committing to fixing even one of these habits this week. I read every comment, and I'll be checking in. I'll see you in the next video.